Hey, what's going on, guys? Ash here, back again with another review, recap, discussion, ramblings of Gozyuger, this time talking about episode 8. So last week's big cliffhanger for Gozyuger was we had the first appearance, the debut of Hunter Garyudo, where they sniped down Osei in his Tyranno Ranger form, and seemingly it looks like they were killed. So this episode picks up where that last episode left off on, where Osei is down for the count, supposedly dead, we're not entirely sure, but he's out of the game because he's killed or knocked out, whatever you want to call it, and you have Hunter Garyudo just taking their body away. No idea where it went, because it's kind of a mystery, because we don't see it appearing again later on in the episode, but I've got an idea with how this guy's powers work. So we find out that Garyudo is sort of like the ace in the hole for the Queen. So the Queen has Hunter Garyudo, who's basically hunting rings, like his name says. But the big plot twist is with Hunter Garyudo is that he is hunting Horu. Horu is his prey, which Candle wasn't the biggest fan of that, because Candle's like, look, he's my prey, I saw him first, I want to fight him. And Hunter Garyudo's like, nah bro, he's out of your league, I've got this, which is kind of funny. So it looks like we're probably going to get a three-way rivalry between like the three characters with Horu, Candle, and Garyudo. So the big plot twist with Garyudo is that he is actually Horu's brother that went missing all those years ago in No Land's Land, or No One's World. So it kind of explains like what probably happened to him when they got separated. He got adopted by the villain faction, he became their sort of star player later down the line, and sort of started serving them as time went on. Now, I kind of forgot about this character once they get their full introduction, where we find out they're doing like AI wishes and stuff like that, because this character was revealed in the press conference like months ago when Gozyuger started, and I kind of forgot about them, because usually in the press conference, like all the characters we see, most of them are introduced within the first couple of episodes, and being 8 episodes in and we finally get introduced to this character, I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot about them. But we find out that he works for this AI company, he's become really successful. You have him and Horu having this nice reunion between the two brothers, and because Horu is looking for a job, he does offer him a spot in his company, but he also says, why don't you work for me with my second job? So we get a tease of what his second job is going to be as the episode goes on, because the whole B-plot with this episode is, it's not really a B-plot, you don't see a lot of it, but you've got Byakuya Army, Gozu Yellow and Gozu Green, they're out doing deliveries for the restaurant, because that's what they're doing out there. They're doing menu log or Uber Eats deliveries going on right now. So they're off doing their own thing. And eventually, the two different plots come face to face when you have Fire Candle, he wants to fight Gozu Red, but Gozu Red's not around. And then when Horu gets the reveal by saying, oh, this is my second job, that Garyudo tells him, hunt those guys. Those guys, they're in our way. We got to get rid of them. And quickly Horu turns on him. He's like, look, they're my friends. I'm not going to fight them. And then Garyudo's like, so be it. You're my prey now. And the henshin for Garyudo is really freaking awesome. Like, it's a different tone or a different, like, beat. More, like, electronic when he transforms. But not only that, because he's got, like, this sniper gun as a weapon for his henshin device or for his morpher, when he does the little claps with each clap, it does sort of like a gun clock or a gun click. And it's really freaking cool. Like, I do like the sound that they implement into it when he transforms. And I know I said this last week in my review for Gozyuger episode 7, when Hunter Garyudo first made their appearance, that the suit looks really freaking amazing, because we did see it in preview screenshots and clips for this week's episode. But seeing the suit finally in motion in this week's episode, it's a really clean suit. It's an amazing suit. Seeing it in motion, like Hunter Garyudo, I know I said this last week, has a really freaking clean suit, and I freaking love it. I get the feeling, because, you know, like having the brother being the villain in a Sentai or like having the family member being the plot twist that they're the villain in a Sentai, it's usually like the end game or the halfway twist for a Sentai season or a Rider series or a Toku series or even plot twists in general. So I do wonder if this guy's going to come around, or is he going to be the main antagonist moving forward. I'm hoping that they don't forget about the guy like Don Murasame and Don Brothers, where they were sort of built up to be this big threat and then they didn't do a lot. So we'll see. But seeing how this character is tied to Horu being his brother, no doubt about it, this character is going to be a huge threat moving forward. And Garyudo's powers are fascinating within themselves because he's able to use the rings to summon different Red Rangers. So in this episode, he summons Gosei Red and Nin Red, and you see them sort of being materialized and they're fighting against the other Gozyugers, but Garyudo then turns on them because he views them more as servants and allies, but when he turns on them and destroys them, when they're destroyed, their weapons begin to materialize. And I feel like that's a really cool concept that they can do with having these different Red Rangers appearing and then getting destroyed, because we can probably see some iconic Red Ranger weapons materializing and then sort of getting destroyed. So we can see some iconic Red Ranger weapons being brought back. Now, guaranteed most of them are mostly swords here and there, but hey, it would be cool to get to see them again. That'd be really freaking awesome. So while this is all going on, you've got Horu fighting against Fire Candle. They're having the big mech battle, but Horu's fighting is getting really sloppy where he's barely able to land any hits. He's not concentrating during the battle. And Fire Candle almost goes to finish him off, but he doesn't in the end. So he feels like he's not going to waste his time fighting someone who he views as a worthless puppet, quote unquote. So Horu is barely able to defeat him, and he's kind of in shock with everything going on with all these revelations. So he teleports down and he's soon surrounded by all the other Gozyugers, and they're like, all right, it's go time. We want answers. We're going to start stealing rings, and we're going to start with yours now. So they quickly turn on him by the end of this episode. So they're just as confused as everyone else right now. But Horu removes his ring and he walks away by saying he's done being a Gozyuger. And that's where the episode ends. So overall, this episode of Gozyuger was really freaking solid. So it looks like we're in the start of a brand new story arc that kind of bled into like the last story arc with episode 6. So this is definitely a lot of fun because it looks like next week's episode will be the end of this story arc where we'll have Horu finally getting his signature weapon, but not only that, his signature Tega sword in next week's episode. So once again, Gozyuger continues to be a really solid series, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go next. What did you guys think of this episode? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And with that said, I will catch you guys later. Peace out. Take care. Bye.